Thank you. As I say, I'm here today from Grow Together Edmonton. We're a grassroots organization concerned with building a more sustainable, affordable, and vibrant city. And I'd like to speak in support, in principle, of the adoption of a substantial completion standard, while also encouraging the committee to consider taking this further. There's almost nothing under the city's direct control that has harmed its ability to provide for its citizens, quite like our historical growth pattern. As we spilled our borders, swallowing farmland, wetland, and parkland in every direction, we've made it increasingly difficult to give Edmontonians the kind of city that they not only expect but deserve. This applies as much to the people who have chosen to make a home in our new neighborhoods as it does to those who live in the core of the city and might never set foot in them. It truly touches on every aspect of civic life, I believe, but to illustrate the point, consider our transit system. People have moved to the edge of town with the promise that they might experience things like a transit-oriented development and the urban amenities that would bring are left to languish as that vital aspect of city infrastructure lags decades behind housing construction. Meanwhile, people in established areas watch as their transit service dwindles, with precious service hours, which I would note have not substantially increased in nearly a decade, are spent driving half-empty buses to further and further flung locations. The spillover consequences to this kind of development is severe. Because we keep sprawling out, it's harder for everyone in the city to get around. It's harder for everyone to find ways to try to reduce their household expenses. It's harder for them to find ways to lower their environmental impact. And it's harder for them to enjoy a life that takes advantage of the city that we are supposed to be building for them. The same math applies to virtually any city service. Building beyond our borders and our means ensures that our infrastructure deficit only increases, ensures that maintenance and repair chokes out services and programming, ensures that existing homeowners pay more taxes to subsidize private profits, and ensures that our horizons diminish as our footprint grows. We can and must build Edmonton's future in a different way than its past. We can and must start maximizing the infrastructure and resources we've already poured into this city. And we can and must make sustainability, in both the economic and environmental sense of the term, the guiding principle of the decision we make. And all of that starts with changing the harmful historical pattern of thoughtless expansion, making it so that something other than potential land availability drives how and why we grow. Lastly, I'd like to address the question of affordability, which was mentioned in the report and I suspect might come up later here. I'd like to note two things that were in the admin report. The first is that this plan will still leave thousands upon thousands of sites at the edge of town available for development. As I read the report, that's more than enough to handle the next decade at least, as outlined in our city plan's growth. Second, the admin report is careful to note that the only category of housing that will be affected is single-family homes. I would argue that prioritizing that form of housing above all others is a big part of why our city has continued to sprawl with all of its attendant costs. As much as we all love a single-family home, we cannot be beholden to a previous generation's dreams. The path to an affordable and sustainable city must involve, and I would argue we must prioritize, multifamily homes, both in our existing neighborhoods and in whatever new neighborhoods we may approve. I think we have seen the effects of building out, and if we are going to reverse them and create a more sustainable city in every sense of that term, it's past time for us to make sure that we build our city in a better, more efficient, more sustainable way. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much for